Hello, everyone over there. Yet another conversation at Awesome Walkers where we have today a very special guest, Pankaj Saxena, who has over 28 years of experience. Actually, it says 25 on the sheet, but I guess since the fly was made and he's joined us, 3 years have passed. No, just kidding. He's been in this hospitality industry. He's a seasoned hotelier, and he's currently the general manager at Radisson Blue. We're going to discover his journey together. Hello, Pankaj. Thank you for joining in today.
Thank you, Samir, for having me in here. And it's a pleasure to be a part of the Awesome Walkers. And it's a true honor and privilege to be talking with you today. And hello, everyone from the Oxford of the East. Thank you so much.
Thank you. First and foremost, I mean, there are a lot of people who uh, are really curious about who is Pankaj Saxena. Uh, would you like to define not from the perspective of hospitality, but otherwise?
Well, Pankaj Saxena is someone who has been guided by the heart here. So right from my education till now, I have been doing what my heart says, and I have been doing and going where my heart leads to. I think that's something nice because if you're able to live your dreams up, if you're happy what you're doing whole life, that's more important, right from studies. And that's what I am. I do a lot of traveling, a lot of friends around, a lot of partying happening, a lot of hospitality happening as well from so many years. But I think it's more important to understand and listen to your inner self. What really do you want, and what really do you want to do? And that's what I did. And I ended up listening so carefully that I've been only doing hotels for so many years now. And I'm pretty happy about it as well. Yes. That's
Where
what the real me is. Yeah.
Beautiful. Where do you grow up, actually, Pankaj?
I was born in a small city called Dholpur. It's a part of Rajasthan. Very famous city, a very prestigious palace called Dholpur Palace, known for white stones. And then I studied at different cities because my father used to get transferred at different levels in different cities across India. He retired as a director of medical services for the UP government, and I graduated from Christian College in Allahabad, and then I moved on to south of India for further studies there.
South of India, where?
I moved to Mangalore. Mangalore was in 1995. That was the only university offering degree in hotel management, and I was very keen that I do a proper degree. As you know, the traditional those times houses and cultures was you have to complete the degree, gentlemen. So and so my inner self, you can't be undergraduate in any form. So but I was lucky. I was lucky. I wanted to do hotel management, and I found someone who taught me, who guided me, a mentor, in fact. And then he said, "No, you must do it from there." And I landed in Mangalore University there, a beautiful city by the sea.
Beautiful. Tell me, how did you meet this mentor and how did he tap into what it is that your heart really wants?
Well, I was passing on my 12th standard, and then I was looking around what exactly I should do. In fact, I've been thinking for 2 years, and I was preparing for different examinations, as traditionally everybody does. But my interest was in something which, as I told you in the beginning, listen to your heart and do what exactly you want to do. For me, hospitality was a very attractive, fundamental. Of course, I was very young, 21 years old. A young mind, but the art and form of hospitality, the opulence and the luxury happening all across. You're seeing those ads, you're visiting, really attracted me. And then I met a gentleman in Taj Hotels, Mr. S.S. Dhillon. He doesn't reside in India now. He really taught me and way forward that Pankaj, this is what you can do. And then he became my first mentor in my life. He migrated to Canada now because he's very old now, and that's where the journey started in my life for hospitality.
Was it your mother or was it your father who always prompted you to do what your heart wants?
Truly speaking, on this live show, my mother, yes.
Huh?
Yes, my mother. Yeah.
Your mother. Was there something that she constantly put into you that you should do what your heart wants?
No, not really. But she said that, whatever you do, whatever you achieve in life, whatever level you can grow in, that's not defined in anybody's life. That's not written in any rule book. That's not written in any kundalis or any astrologers. I think it's only written on the destiny and the way you take on your life and what exactly you do once you become something. So she said that. Whatever you do with 100% in passion and dedication, because if you have even 90% attention to what you're doing, you will not achieve the top, you will not achieve the ladder what exactly you should or you can with your hard work. So that's something which really I really thought about it, and I think let me do exactly what my mind says 100%. And I think that's what the hospitality started now there.
We see these days youngsters, they are very confused about what they want to do in their life. Forget today's youngsters, even in our days there are a lot of youngsters who really don't know with clarity what it is that they really want. In fact, I remember in our college, one of the first questions that the professor asked in our class was, how many of you are here by choice, you know? And very few hands went up because we were in one of the top institutes in engineering. But so many of them just came because their parents or somebody else told them to do it. Or so, when did this desire and ownership for you taking on everything and you being completely responsible set in for you?
Once you at the nascent stage, at when you are young, everybody lands up in 12th and 13th standard, if you see, by 20 and 21 years, something on those lines. I strongly feel that mentors and parents together play a big role. You need to have a mentor along with your parent who understands exactly where are you going in and what industry, and industry expert guidance I think is very, very critical. I would advise that if a kid is looking at a certain direction or certain industry, it could be anything. It can be in automobile engineering, or it could be a coal engines, whatever. But I think parents, along with the mentorship, I think if that is taken care of in a nice way, the counseling in today's world is the key. There's so many courses, there's so many different divisions. A small kiddo can really get confused. But I think if the directions are given in clear direction, and explain what can happen beyond that and what can happen after 3 years and 4 years and 5 years down the line, I think that is what is important for today's generation to do that. If you see today's generation, young minds are not really having patience enough. If you study and if you move on, the cluster is changing very, very fast. The dynamics changing very, very fast, and so their minds as well. So I think it's important that the formative years of these people are in such a sync that you stay where you're exactly destined to stay. Once you choose a profession, once you choose a tunnel, it's a one-way tunnel. I mean, that something has to be in their mind. If the tunnel, if you inside the tunnel, you find the way out. Oh, that's a tough journey for all, for sure.
Speaking of mentors, I'm sure you have, over the years now, since you said 25, 28 years right now, right? You have probably become a mentor for quite a few people. When you are mentoring, has there been any uh, significant story that stands out in your mind about you mentoring someone else, and guiding them?
Sure, yeah. See, well, I'm still learning. I'm still learning. I still refer to my mentors. But let me tell you one incident. One gentleman who was not hotel management graduate, and he was at the housekeeping desk, and he couldn't really. Housekeeping desk is an area where all the guest calls and all the room calls do land, and the housekeeping is like a nerve center desk, and the information is passed on to different areas, different floors, and guest services, guest requirements, and so on. So this housekeeping desk is a very, very critical area, and this boy was just a fresh pass out, and he happened to be in hotel, and he was not really coping up well in that desk. And I happened to be at those times rooms division manager, and I said, yes, I think you must learn English, gentlemen. I told him very casually. I was not exactly aware that he's going to really seriously do it. To my surprise, In 6 months, he did it. And he came to me next. He said, "Now what?" I said, "You do an online course from IGNU on hotel management." Because that's what the best he could do at that level. And you will not believe, in 2 years, he did that. Today, that boy works in Royal Caribbean, housekeeping manager, earning 2 lakh. And the one gentleman who moved me personally was he. And I was so happy, that if you can make somebody's life in a positive frame. Of course, I helped him a little personally, but if somebody can be moved up a so big ladder in different levels, I think that gives you a lot of satisfaction in life. And that happened very nicely. Another incident happened when I was a general manager, and I was based in northeastern part of India, especially precisely Sikkim, which is the city of Gangtok. And I happen to be in touch with a foundation called Human Development Foundation of Sikkim, run by Mrs. Kipu Lepcha, a Nobel Prize contender in 2005. I got in touch somehow. It's a long story, but I'm just trying to tell you what exactly happened there. And there's a small village which is run, and especially the female who probably can't study, and they're just there, they're cultured and they stay, and then all that happens. And I was really moved up, and then I said, no, that's something we should really do something for this village. And I was very happy to do something, and we moved 50 these girls across India for jobs in that hotel group. And from that stint, that was my first general manager stint in those times. And that really moved me close to society. And it really taught the lesson: life is not about the commercial world. It's also about helping and being with humanity, and understanding and being patient what exactly other side of the story is all about. And that's something which really moved. And I'm still moved with that theory as of now still.
Beautiful. Uh, you mentioned about you still learning, and you are so you prefaced it before you spoke about the mentoring that you did. Does someone have to be completely well-rounded and well-formed before they become a mentor? Is my first question. And the second question that is connected to that slightly, so you can answer both together, is do you look for a mentor, or should mentors look for mentees? Should you go out and see who is it that you can support, who is it that you can actually impact, and you know what do you think?
Well, mentors are at different levels. I can give you a smallest example. A person heading an Indian kitchen in the curry, example, can be a mentor for that particular section, because there are a lot of young people coming and joining that section. If you really see section wise and industry wise, mentor is not somebody who is only the top man. Mentor is also not only the general manager. Mentor is also the head of the departments. Mentors also the managers. The mentors are also the restaurant managers, the IT managers, the finance heads, the purchase managers, and so on. It's very complex as a hoteliering goes. So mentorship is not only about becoming a manager. It's about attitude, and whatever you know, and are you able to depart that? Are you able to impart that? I think that's very important. And anyone who's able to do that is a mentor for me. Uh, when I say it's a mentor position, because he's mentoring somebody. So I don't think you have to really go and search for mentors. When you're working in, and when you're really sincerely working in, mentors will come your way. Uh,
Mm.
it's other way theory that, if you're not really interested to work and you're not working, be it in any field, I don't think mentors will come along your way, because you have to be really picked up to those levels where people see and assume that, no, I think the polishing can make the diamond, and let us now put effort in polishing. So for me, that would be the call and take.
Beautiful. Now, I know you are the general manager at Radisson right now, and you have a lot to go further and scale more heights and probably go to other properties. When you take on the responsibility of a property for the first time, what are the areas that you focus on uh, first and foremost before you start managing everything? What is the first thing that you address?
So I
And I'll
can
give
I
you a
can
little bit
tell
of
you some.
context in terms of culture. Is there something that within the culture that you try to bring in with respect to your style, or do you just go and absorb what is the current style and then just be with that?
Great. Oh, this is a fantastic question because that's something which is very diverse in different plateau and different states and different regions is very different. I was in Pune earlier, not in this current hotel, and other the Radisson Blue. And then I was sent to Mumbai to open a hotel, Radisson Blue Mumbai, which is just opposite to Leela Mumbai, 206 rooms property. And I was in the month of Feb, and we were on a different swing of opening, and the culture and the COVID and everything happened together, and that was a real test, probably to answer your question, and that's where the real fundamental came in. And yes, you have to adapt city to city. State is a very big subject, city to city even. The culture in Mumbai is completely different from the culture you're coming from some other ex city. Ease of living, ease of transport, ease of commuting is completely different in different cities. Yeah, the way people eat, the way people live their lifestyle is completely different. Unless and until we understand, we adapt to their culture, we understand how they come in, where they live. Uh, Before giving them job descriptions and telling them, hey, this is an X date to open the hotel, I don't think that really works. So to adapt to those cultures, to understand and understand them and their backgrounds, and then give them the shift, and then give them the responsibility, and then draw a timeline of the whole project, pre-opening schedules, and then those PPTs and time, and and say, okay, this is a background study, and this is how we're going to open, and this is strategy, this is a marketing launch plan, and this is here's a marketing launch plan, and that's a commercial plan, and that's a business plan, and so on. That can only happen when actually you understand the people and the most important elements of any hotel is three: the ownership, the vendors, and the employees. I think you have to understand all three perspectives, because the vendor management is very, very important, because what vendors are coming in and what background is happening is completely linked to each other. It's a complex situation where you can't separate one element and work on the other element, because it's a amalgamation of all the subjects there. So I think deeper understanding, deeper in-depth knowledge, and I would say experience do count, and you have to have an experienced team, right from head of the department down the line, and then only the culture can grow up and establish, and then you say, oh, these are local SOPs, and these are our local standing laws, and here's the hotel, and then here's the plan, and let's move on. So culturally that happens, yes.
So this is what you're saying when it comes to a pre-opening, right? When the hotel is not yet
Yes,
open.
yes, yes.
Uh,
It's a
but what if
similar situation, yeah, it's almost.
but what if it is somebody who has already been running it for quite some time, and then you're stepping in? Then what do you
Okay.
focus on?
So suppose you go to a hotel which is like running in from 15 years, and you are there, and then you understand, okay, you have been positioned there, and then you need to run the hotel and do performance at best what we can. In that case also scenario almost similar, only adaptability is a little different, because people already adapted to the cultural environment, people already adapted to those plans and SOPs and working styles. I think it's more about you becoming a part of their team first,
Hmm.
because the culture is already set in. You becoming a part of the team first, and then telling them, look, this is fantastic, this is fantastic, how about this, how about that, and let's try this, let's experiment that, and small success stories should be initiated, and then example taking is very important. Oh, fantastic result for a small team efforts, this is what we resulted, and that's how the stories have to be built in. And then the larger picture comes into the picture. Those micro pictures have to be built in first, and then the macro picture comes into the picture, and then the whole holistic picture comes in the scene. And then you say, oh, this is a cinematography, and this is a ploy and plate now, and this is how the plate looks like now. And that's how you succeed, and that's how you move in, further. You can't, the time is gone that you come in and you boss around and say, this is not happening and that's not happening, no, this is not good. That doesn't work now, in principle, yes, but
So why
working
is
with
that?
them. Sorry.
Why is that? It doesn't work now.
No, you can't boss around. The time has changed. You can't boss around and say, oh, this doesn't work. You have to be with them, and with them, and prove it along with them that, look, this is a meaningful occasion, this is a meaningful opportunity, let's do this and see these results. That is very important.
But this should have been the
See
case
what.
always. This should have been the case always. Why is it now that it has changed? Why in the past it was not like this?
No, not really past and present, but yeah, now the workforce is completely defined and aligned. And what you're talking about, or I have seen 15 years back workforce, and 15 and now is a changed workforce. Let me tell you for sure. Uh, Now the workforce is about well-being and balancing and work-life balance
Hmm.
at the best, and this is what is happening right now. Earlier it was not so much in the industries, but now it is. So that is a very, very huge and bigger aspect. People want happiness. People want the happiness index to be the highest level. People want the satisfaction index to be at highest level.
Is there
Unless
any
until we're able to define that and achieve that with the team, it's difficult.
Very true. Is there any initiative that you have taken along these lines which you're very proud of? Something unique, something that you have started off and you feel very close to?
Oh, there are many. There are many that way.
Pick your
Uh,
favorite.
yeah, example like a ladies club. Example, a ladies club. So what happens? All the ladies gather. They do multiple activities in a month. They're cooking together, they're going out together, a lot of fun happening, a lot of ladies focus centric activities happening, and the hotel is gaining with the female ratio. Example. So that's one example which can really flourish, because where the female ratios are higher, those happiness indexes are much better, because we're very balanced organizations. Because women at home really makes the house, and keeps things in order. I think that's very, very key element of philosophy, and that's something which makes very happy fundamentals. Second example I can give you, the back office management. Back office management has to be at the peak. When I say the peak, the way we look after the guest, same way we look after the back of the house. We do activities, we do town halls, we do meetings, we do games, we have a center happening, we have fun Fridays happening, we have food fest happening, we have caroms happening, we have, there are different fundamental activities in such a way that engagement scores have to be so high that it builds up your fundamental. Like, if you'll be happy that we've been certified of a great places to work by the organization, worldwide organization, for this year. And that's what makes a difference, because what is also happening, you're also having an employee satisfaction index, and that is what is important. And after all that, what we do, the employee satisfaction index is measured by the brand, by any brand. That's how it happens. If that is high, that really means that hotel is optimally performing in front of the house and back of the house. I think that's a measure.
Yeah. And there are a lot of people who are in support roles who's getting all these things done for you, right? You have a lot of people who get all these activities and initiatives and come in the brainstorming. What occupies dominantly your time? Where is your efforts dominantly spent?
We all the hotels normally are well structured, as you rightly said. We have IT manager, we have a learning and development manager, we have a HR manager, we have a guest experience manager, we have a food and beverage manager, we have an executive chef, and so on and so forth. A line of action, and number two, the number threes. Everything's structured and aligned to have a fantastic synchronization. As you see, when you play a piano, the music has to come in perfectly right. A one key not working, it doesn't really play the music. So your job is to only ensure that when the music is played on, it comes out so soothingly that you feel that it's a perfect piano. I think that's, in one word, I can summarize to you. And in a bigger words, yes, the hotels, bigger plans on commercial success, business plan, all that has to be met, and gone beyond the parameters, guest satisfaction indexes, and so on. So those are the key broader topics which a general manager has to ensure, keeping everything moving in the back of the house, in the front of the house, that the ownership vision and the brand promise to our owners are kept. That's the biggest important element for any general managers. Success, you can't measure apart from any percentages and theories.
When you look back 28 years ago, that little boy who decided that he wants to go into hospitality, what qualities do you think he brought to the table at that point of time? I mean, over a period, you have developed so many skills and qualities, but at that point of time, knowingly or unknowingly, what were the skills that you had which laid the foundation for you to do well in this industry?
Well, I'll be very basic in answering that. I did cleaning for 12 hours. I did onion chopping for 10 hours. I I did bed making. I did anything and everything. Only thing which I did with attitude was honesty and integrity. I think that's the only thing I brought into the table those times. And whatever I was doing in those times, I was doing with completely honesty and integrity. And I think that is what made my fortune, and I was pulled up, and that's how the ladders went up as we graduated at different times. I think still it's valid. It's
Mhm.
valid if you're really honest in what you're doing, and if you're genuinely doing your hard work. Result is not important. Hard work is important. If you're genuinely doing this hard work and smart work, that's something which is something which passes you through. That's what I would say.
What keeps you going after 28 years? Why are you still chasing the same thing? Are you chasing the same thing or are you chasing different things now?
Well, I am so happy with hoteliering. I can tell you, every single day I come in to the hotel, still I have same kind of happiness. Every evening I go, I still look forward for tomorrow, and hoteliering is something which, unless and until small things are not felt by you, you would not be happy. So unless until small thing and in small incidences and small guest notes and figures and accomplishments and all that, if you're feeling every bit of it every day, you will really be able to pull up. And I feel one or two things in a week should happen so well, which you've been desiring. And if you're able to do results there, I think that is will something which will kindle the fire of you being there. I mean, I never thought to move out of the hotels, and I never will.
Okay. And what you just now described, that sense of excitement, that sense of joy, that sense of something happening beautiful, is that for the general manager or is it for everybody in the industry?
It's for employees. It's for employees and the guests. You feel that you're able to motivate a kitchen person who's made fantastic pasta, and the guests are praising about it. You call him and tell him, "Oh, this is fantastic." I think that makes general manager happy. As general manager, you know exactly what to be done because you are heading the hotel, and you exactly know what has to be achieved. But happiness lies of a general manager in getting to know about guests and employees, and that's what I meant. And those moments are very important and critical because that keeps the whole engine moving in. If that is not happening, engine will not move in. So that's something which is a very key fact for any hotel.
Do you have a story to share about delighting customers that you went out of the way and it received a lot of notice amongst your employees, or it the story got viral, or you kept it's a story that you keep repeating and sharing? Is there something like that that you would like to share?
Well, there are many happened during this entire tenure. You know, it's a little. I can't name a hotel, but it's a little sad and happy, both linking story. And there was a couple staying at the hotel from a out of country as well, and a very old couple in a hotel. And it's linked to when I was working at my young time, and I became a GM for the first formative years, and happened to know this couple staying in for almost 7 nights and going to stay for longer. I said, yeah, fine, that's okay. Room was not available. All that was small thing which all that happened. And then the couple said, let's have lunch together. I thought, okay, fine. I mean, it's a small thing. If guests are saying have to let's have a lunch, because we just gave a room for 7 more nights, but that's a small thing for hotels. And I thought the lunch going to get over by 45 minutes, but that lunch went on for 5 hours. And I happen to know that that couple uh, comes to India and is part of the large fund from the Swiss fraternity, and funds a couple of NGOs. And that woman knew that she going to die in next 4 years. She had cancer, a terrible one. And it moved me so much that, something can happen in such a way that people know that this is going to happen, but see the positivity of people, what they're doing. I remained connected and I did whatever I could do for them, and whatever I did beyond that, it's all fine. But that story is something which really motivated. And we did on next 7 days so much for them. That husband is still connected with me. And it's amazing. It's amazing to know that if you touch people in certain way, and we actually, if you ask me, in today's world, what I did, we did nothing. We just did a basic service. They were paying money, but that touch, that feel, being with them, meeting them daily, having breakfast with them. I did breakfast with them almost daily till they stayed for they stayed for almost 12 nights beyond that. I think those touches and those feel is important, which is not even done by GM. That it's done by many people. It's done by front office manager, by guest relations executive, by experienced managers, by food and beverage managers. But these touches are very important, which gives you a long-lasting fundamentals, and also teaches you that don't only do commercial business. Think for society, think for people around you, and these incidences do change you at times.
Yeah. Pankaj, when you speak, I can see the passion in you. I can see how passionate you're about customer service and delighting people and going above and beyond, etc. Uh, and you also mentioned at the beginning that today's generation is very different, right? And the kind of people who come into the workforce. How do you make people have? Is it possible for a general manager or anyone to create an environment where delivering customer excellence and customer service is infectious? And if it is possible, how do you do it?
We formed a small team called Wow Champions, and I do meet them every week. We give them presentations. We motivate them. We show them videos. We do anything and everything every Tuesdays. I don't do anything except those 1 hour only with them. And these are not managers and head of the department. They are people who have just joined, or a team leader or a supervisor. We handpick them and we sync with them, and we feel, no, they are the energy. They have the bubbles inside, and let us take them on, and let us make the balloon out of it. So we do that at a level, but it is not an easy task. It is not an easy task because in today's generation, people want to grow up very, very fast. People want to transpire to managers very, very fast, and it is not so easy to handle them for a long time. But yes, some of them understand, and many of them understand and change too as well. But in today's world, it's a little difficult task, because what has happened, hospitality has really grown over and beyond. It's not only hotels, it's airlines, it's malls, it's hospitals, is everywhere. And I think to ensure that they're on, and people who are really passionate about this fundamental of hoteling business, yes, we can do for them. But after doing this, many of them do change. Many of them do change and understand, yes, we understand and we'll do XYZ. And then we give them the growth plan. We have fantastic programs within the hotels, and then we give them growth plan. We'll tell them, okay, this is what we can do for you, and this is okay. Let's experiment this and let's experiment that, and then we reward them, and then we link directly with guest ranking and ratings across, because their names are coming in, their pictures are coming in with the guests, not head of the departments or not the GM. And we try doing at best what we can, and as I mentioned about the ladies club as well. So it's about all employees related activities. So we try doing a bit what we can. We go to
Hmm.
hotel management colleges, we motivate them, we tell them, and we try telling them and how rewarding it can be if you're really passionate about a certain department coming in. So that's what we can do at our best, and we're doing it enough that way.
Yeah. I know freshers who want to start off as managers as well. They don't want to take any of the folding beds and none of those things. They directly want to manage people. They feel like they have done it in college in some aspects, so they can manage people and they can get things done.
Yes.
How was COVID period for you?
COVID has been, uh, I'll give you two sides of story if you allow me to do that. Um, in my lifetime, I had never spent 2 months with my daughter eating and cooking food all 3 meals, and spending time and and playing around and making breakfast for the family and dinner for the family at times. I don't ever know that I will ever get time in my life in such a way, because everybody lives a different phase of life, studying and education and job and so on and so forth. Nobody can get 2 months of a long long leave. So in that perspective, I was lucky enough that I did that, and with great shiddat it happened. On the other side, it was difficult to manage people, because undercuts, all that was happening, and luckily we did not lay off anyone. But yes, it was very difficult to manage people. The biggest thing was emotional balance with them and mental health with them. We used to do on con calls, chats, videos, all that fine, and we could give money to survive. All that was happening, but the assumption thinking and the emotional connect and the mental balances were at very different levels. That took a lot of our time to think and do. And yes, we lost some people, some of our dear ones in the COVID times. We did our best, fundamentally, but we could not be beyond a certain level, and so we had very sad feelings. Also, we have very sad memories also at the same time. But we also have some few good memories where we could save people. They could recover from different genres and different versions. Some from health reasons, some from mental health, and some from emotional health. And I feel that we did enough as a company as well, because all our bosses were completely telling us what and how to do it. And I think we could do at best what we can. And I still feel some people are still recovering, to be honest with you, when I look around the society.
Hmm. Apart from the COVID situation, what are the other? Because I feel like you started off your life on a way where you knew exactly what you wanted to do. You got a mentor, and you've been sailing through. It feels like you've been sailing through life, so far for the last 28 years. But was there any real challenge or suffering or something that really pulled you down, and you had to climb out of a pit for something?
My initial phases of my hoteliering was not so easy. Was very challenging, for sure, because mentorship is fine, but when you are an team leader, and then you become an executive and an assistant manager and manager, it's not easy, those times, because those times so many hotels were not existing in different all cities and fundamentally, and you had at the same level people working who are experienced, double the size of your experience, at the position. So sometimes, in those times, yes, at many times I felt, whether I'll become something in life or no, whether I'll become a manager also or no, whether I'll become a head of the department also or no. So yes, challenges do come in, but unless and until if we are determined, yes, we can achieve it, and we keep working hard. The only thing, as I mentioned, honesty and integrity and hard work. If you keep doing it, people do recognize, because the people sitting on top, I'm sure they see what's happening. But yes, I also faced a lot of competition, a lot of peer competition, as you move the ladder. Yes, it happened. It happens in everybody's life. Yeah. I also moved up the rank gradually.
Uh, it's been wonderful speaking to you, Pankaj. And before we wind down, if you were to speak to youngsters, I know honesty, integrity, and hard work is there. But apart from that, if somebody is considering a career in hotel management and wants to go into hospitality, what would you tell them? And is it possible only for youngsters to join this industry, or is it possible for someone who is in their late 30s or 40s to consider? I want to step into this and I want to do something over here. Is it possible for those people as well?
It's the question is so well apt for the current times. I should only say that because I'm sure the whole world is reading the news that every company is doubling the portfolio sizes of hotels. The number of hotels, not only in South Asia, across whether Southeast Asia, China, across the world, the number of hotels are not doubling; it's almost tripling in the companies. So currently, if you ask me, it's a great time. Currently, if you ask me, it's a good time for people. The growth will be highly monitored. Highly individual people will be having a faster pace of growth. So for youngsters right now, I think it's a fantastic time to join hotels and join hoteliering. Coming to your second question, people in mid, yes, there are multiple departments, multiple areas. There are finance, there are engineering, there's IT, there's HR. From different diverse fields, people join hotels nowadays, and it's possible. People can join. Only thing, keep in mind that hoteliering is a very multicultural organization in terms of different departments syncing in machinery, and it's not a straight line function industry as people see in automotive or XYZ in pharmaceuticals. So the hoteliering is complex. People should be ready to experiment and ready to adapt at a mid-age level, and then if they're able, if they can, and yes, it's going to be very rewarding for many of them. Recently, we have seen a new segment coming to hotels, housewives, and coming to hotels, and they're joining in. Home cooks, the housewives who make fantastic food, they're joining in, coming to hotels as consultants, as home chef for many days, part-time jobs. I think we are seeing exciting world happening now, if you ask me, and it's very different perspective. So it's just possible. Only advice to young minds who come in, that they should not jump off too quickly because it spoils their career and CV fundamentals for sure. I think they should stick on minimum 3 years and move on. I think that's very important. And uh, the opportunities now available are immense for people.
Uh, why 3 years? Why within 1 year if they feel like this is not something I want to do? What will make it a difference from moving from 1 year to 3 years?
You need, 8 10 months, they only know the culture, they will know the way of working, and they only understand very basics of the working when they come in. And the second year they really excel in what they do, and third year they can expect a growth within the organization very easily. It can be even before 3 years if they're really smart enough. It's possible, but first 1 year is just they understand the basics and the culture, so they can't expect the growth in 1 year for sure. It is not so easy for everybody. There are some people who are exceptionally greatly talented and they say, no, I mean, 6 months I am on and I'm doing XYZ. Yeah, you never know, it's possible. It's not age and experience, number of years are not it's not a deterrent factor at any level for promotion and increments for sure. Yes, people can grow in, but depends,
Beautiful.
but very exceptional cases.
Uh, are you looking to stay in India, or are you looking to go across the world? And uh, do you have any dream destination
I
where
really
you
can't
would?
answer that question, but I'm very happy being an Indian, and I'm very happy in India. And my daughter is venturing I thought she'd go coming to hospitality, but she's venturing to IT world, and I think IT world in India is very very promising, with especially the city of Pune, where I mean 800 IT companies exist. So for
Mhm.
me, the city is exciting from many perspective, from even from my daughter's perspective. So yes, hope for the best now.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. The joy with which you speak, Pankaj, my heart is overwhelmed. I'm filled with so much of happiness that you have been able to find your passion at a very young age. You have been able to sustain and live that journey for so many years, and you have been able to impact so many lives. Uh, I hope the listeners over here are able to take away something whereby uh, you spoke about hospitality, but it could be any profession. If we go into any of those professions with the same kind of ethos and passion, then I think communities would be a much better off community over here, because everyone living their passion, listening to their heart, listening to their moms, and listening to what their daughters want, and bring all of that together uh, is a wonderful experience. Any
I
closing
think some,
remarks?
you
Huh?
you rightly said, if you're a great husband or a great brother and a great father, I think that's a second level of passion certification you can ever get in life.
Right.
My closing only will be that whatever we do, uh, life is a series of moments, and if you are able to live every moment of your life, whatever you do, offline, online, at work, and at home, you're also creating moments for people. You're also creating moments for yourself. Happy moments live forever. Try a small bit of making surroundings happy, making people happy, and people who touch you, people who meet you, try giving them the happiness, whatever you can. Believe me, the law of attraction works pretty strongly around you in that case. So let's create happiness all across. Thank you, Samir.
Thank you. Thank you so much for spending some beautiful moments with us and sharing your insights, delighting us. I wish you the
Lovely
best.
talking to you, Samir. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.